Hi, thanks for joining me. Wilderness with Monty. It's cracking on. I just rolled out of my car. I'm gonna be hitting the Hilton Lakes #3 today. I read that there's golden trout in there, so I'm gonna go head on up there and try to do some fishing. I think I'm looking at about 4.5, 5 miles each way, so I'm looking at a 10-mile hike today. I loaded up on calories yesterday. I brought a whole package of hot links. I didn't eat some of the package. I didn't even eat half of the package. I ate the whole package. Okay, so I went Joey Chestnut on that thing in a hot dog eating contest and just ate until I was done. Ate a bunch of heartburn medicine to battle the hot link factor, and I'm good to go now. So I have plenty of energy. I'm ready just to power up that mountain. And I'm looking at about 10 miles round trip, I think. I read there's golden trout in there on, I think, the Fly Fishing Sierra site. There's a site that's really good when I click in what kind of fish are in lakes. It comes up and it has like every lake listed and it has what kind of trout are in it. And I think they're kind of old, so I'm not sure if there's still goldens in there. But that's what I'm going to go see today. Let's do step one. Let's get to the lake. And one thing's for sure, the lake ain't coming to me, so I better start hiking right now, so let's go. And we are at the Hilton Creek Trailhead, and once again, we're going into the John Muir Wilderness. And it's kind of an unusual trailhead because it's just on the side of the road. And the parking's up there, that sign's over there. This says the Hilton Lakes Trailhead, that says the Hilton Creek Trailhead. Who knows? All I know is I'm hiking to Hilton Lake #3. And there's horses on this trail. There's a pack station, so you see there's a lot of horse crap. So if you're the adventurous type that likes to ride horses, you can definitely get them to take you up here on horses. I personally, not a big fan of riding horses, and on narrow trails like this, I don't want to be that high up on a horse. There's beautiful Rock Creek Lake, and there's a guy out early trolling. Hope he's having some luck. I did most of this hike already. It's on my hiking and backpacking playlist. Going to Hilton Lake #1, Davis Lake. It's kind of nice because the first, little ways of this hike starts out in good tree cover. And the sun's just starting to come up. So if you get a late start, you won't be immediately subjected to the blast of the sun. But it won't last, of course, once you get a little higher. And as it said at the sign of the trailhead, John Muir Wilderness. This is a pretty heavily used trail. And especially with the horse traffic, I'm pretty much walking on sandy dirt, and it's really easy to follow. So early in the year, you got this creek trickling, and it isn't much, but you could filter water. But I'm only about a mile in, so this creek is almost inconsequential. If I remember correctly, once you pass that, there's not water for like another 3 miles, almost until you get to up where the fork goes from Lake 1 and 2 to Lake 3, 4, and above. So keep that in mind. Cool little wildflowers. On a lot of my hikes, I always stop and maybe I'll show the wildflowers and I talk about them, but to be honest with you, I know very little about wildflowers. I don't know what kind they are. I just ooh, purple, ooh, red. You know, that's about the extent of my knowledge of wildflowers in the Sierra. It's only about 7:20 in the morning, but it's warming up quick. The sun's peeking up, and I drank a ton of water before I even started, so I'm pretty well hydrated. But I've already had to strip off a bunch of my layers because it went from shivering cold to it's gonna be hot pretty quick. It's mid-July. For me, I like coming to the Eastern Sierra and hiking above 10,000 feet in the fall and even the late fall. But if you come to the Eastern Sierra and you're going backpacking in, say, October, you need to be ready for lows that are like 15 degrees. You know, the lows are well below freezing above 10,000 feet. Once you get up to like 11,000 feet, just make sure your sleeping bag's up to the task. Make sure your clothes, make sure you have what you need. Nothing's worse than spending an entire night shivering cold. I've done it. It's horrible. It seems like the sun's never gonna come up. Until you hit the switchbacks and start going up towards the little ridge that you gotta cross and then drop down, and there's a lot of up and down on this trail. Hiking anything above 10,000 feet is gonna be a challenge when it comes to, you know, breathing and getting tired. It's definitely warming up. I just had to stop and just armor up with sunscreen and DEET. You get that 30 SPF sunscreen going with the DEET cocktail. My skin is just suffocating. Hold on. Shh. I think I can hear my liver screaming for mercy right now. But I'm not getting sunburned and the bugs aren't bothering me. I've never hiked this trail in the fall, but I know enough to know all of this green, these aspens, whatever they are going to be fiery red and orange and yellow. And it's probably a real good sight to see. So when you're planning your trips, maybe that's something you want to keep in mind. I was powering for that first 1.5 miles or 2 miles. But now I'm kind of getting out of that nice tree cover. The sun's on me and I'm starting to hit more elevation. I'm going up. I'm slowing down a bit. Before it was just charge. Now I'm head down. I'm starting to sweat. Things change pretty quick physically when you're hiking up this high. And here's a nice view of just those drastic peaks above the tree line over there. And I always wonder, what would it be like to be standing up there? I mean, I'm not gonna go climb up there and try to see, but I can still wonder about it. Now I'm in that part of the hike where I've just accepted it's gonna be rough. And I'm into the slow grind. You just grind it out. I always look at hikes as though there's different phases. The first phase, when I get a light pack like this isn't so bad. But when I have a heavy pack, that first phase is I don't think I can make it. This is killing me. But then once you get into it, you get into that grind, your respiratory system has adapted a little to the altitude, you just start grinding it out. And you just keep it slow and steady, and you take lots of little short breaks, and you'll be fine. But once you've accepted that you are now held hostage by the trail, all you can do is stay with your captor and keep going forward. When you're carrying a full pack, like it was last time, after you've been grinding it uphill for a while, you hit stuff like this, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta step up that. With my light pack, it's not so bad. The sign says Hilton Lake's that way, so I'm good with that way. Now I'm getting up that elevation, it becomes a really cool trail. You know, the tree trunks are that bright red, rusty, different shades, and even the stuff that's sawed by a chainsaw on the side of the trail kind of adds to the whole thing. Because in the end, this stuff that's all cut up and that stuff that's naturally rotting over there, there ain't no difference. It'll all be soil, just like a lot of us in the end. I always love these cut off tree stumps. They're just still bright red. And then you got this dude up here. He's got almost no green leaves all the way to the ground. That thing is just choking for some sunlight. I just talked to a couple of ladies that were staying up at Hilton Lake number 3 where I'm going. And they said they saw tons of fish and they said they looked hungry. That's what I want to hear. I've been hiking to lakes before, and I see people that are coming from the lake I'm going to, and I ask them, hey, did you see any fish? And all they say is, no, we didn't see anything. I never want to hear didn't see anything. When a lot of the trail is almost like a sandy trench, once you get away from the trailhead, you know there's a lot of traffic. And there's just so many glimpses as you go along a trail when you stop and look around. And it's always just nice to take in a lot of the, you know, the rotting wood, the living wood, the boulders, the granite out there. It just makes a landscape that's just so much fun to look at. I just passed another group coming out from Lake 3, and they said 3, 4, and 5. They saw tons of fish, but they didn't fish. And I never get that. That's why I have that want to try fly fishing clip and all those clips on my trout fishing tips playlist. So if people go up and they want to learn, they can. Because for me, hiking into a lake like this and not fishing is like going to Disneyland. I'm like, yeah, you know, I didn't see Mickey Mouse. I thought I'd skip that part. You know? I mean, everybody's got a different perspective, of course. But for me, it's crazy making. That's a pretty kid scene. I'm getting up here. I'm getting up here. I've hit this nice section of trail now where I'm going down. And I'm going down quite a bit. And I remember this from last time. I remember how horrible it was coming out over this. I mean, right now I'm sailing. I'm just skipping along. But as we know, what goes down often has to go back up when it comes to hiking speak. So I think I'm almost there. So there's Davis Lake is down that way. That's where I have a clip for hiking to and fishing, and I fished the inlet creek. I have a lot of content on my Backcountry Lakes and Creeks playlist for Davis Lake. Today, I'm going to Third Lake, and then I guess 4 or 5, I think they go up to like 9, are this way. So, based on this sign, I've decided I need to go this way. So let's go this way. Man, once you break off from that sign for lake number 3, this is pretty serious uphill. It's steep. But this lake is about 10,300 feet elevation and change, so it's not too high. A lot of places you go where you're looking for goldens, you're going, 10, 8, 11,000 feet. But I'm finding it really hard to appreciate these steep steps and the look ahead of me, at least in the short term. It's all uphill. This is just some of the kind of stuff that I imagine what being on the back of a horse would be like, going up this. And I know they go up this because there's a pile of horse crap right there. I don't think I want to see what that's like. I think I would be nervous. The horse would get nervous because of me, and the end would be disaster. Whatever I do, I try to avert disaster. And there's Hilton Lake's number 2. And there's the big lake, Davis Lake. That lake's got some good fishing and some really nice trout in it. The number 1, Davis Lake. And it looks like that's where a lot of horses go. There's kind of like a big group camping area that you walk through when you go to that lake. And I'm still going up. And it's a steep grade, boy. Even with the steps and these little switchbacks, you're powering. There's another bird's eye view of Davis Lake, Hilton Lake number 1. That thing's big. When you're standing there fishing and you're walking around it, you don't realize how big the lake is. And here it is, Hilton Lake number 3. And a crow flying by. And it's breezy up here. You can see there's still snowpack on the back of the lake. But it looks like there's pretty good fishing access. I'll probably have to break through a little bit of brush to get around, but there's some really nice rocks there. It's really beautiful up here. It's amazing. Well, I'm here, and I hope you enjoyed the hike up here. It wasn't too bad. I got up here in about 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, I'd say. And I went pretty hard straight up. I got a light pack. If I was fully weighed down with gear, that could expand to 3.5. That you could tack an hour on that easy. But I'm gonna settle in. I'm gonna do some fishing and see if there's some golden trout in here. And I want to filter some water because I burned through almost all of my water. It's warm out, and when you're hiking in high altitude, you don't want to mess around with dehydration. So I hope you enjoyed the hike to Hilton Lake, number 3. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.